Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is Monday, September 15th, 2025. We start with the invocation from First Christian Church.
Julie Versteg, actually from Central Church. Sorry, I wanted to make sure there wasn't somebody else here. Please join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we call upon you to join us in this meeting. Thank you for the team you bring here today to work together for the wise governance of the Oskaloosa community. Thank you for the gifts you've given them and their willingness to use those gifts in service to the greater community. Bless also the voices that come tonight to be heard, those with a desire to make our city a better place. Thank you for your abundant blessings. We ask your continued protection over these proceedings today and over Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. Remind us, Father, as you call us in Ephesians 4, to be completely humble and gentle, to be patient, to bear with one another in love, and to make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Julie. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ocean.
Here.
Alden.
Here.
Caligiuri.
Here.
Drost. Hermson.
Here.
Holmer.
Here.
Ibrahim.
Here. Okay. First item up is the opportunity for community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief, time limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked of the city staff, the council members, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so that way concerns can be properly researched and answered away from the meeting. Comments to be directed to the mayor and city council only. And so for those who want to speak, I'll call you to the podium. They're in no particular order. Let's start with Barry Martin.
Evening, everybody. How are you today? Barry Martin, 906 2nd Avenue East. I'm just standing up today on behalf of the YMCA. I want to send a shout out to our United Way here. This past week, we were the beneficiaries, as were many other organizations and areas in the city, of a day of caring. And I just want to publicly thank United Way and tell the city how great a job they are doing to help out the community. And those companies that lent their employees to the various agencies for the day. We received 3 different groups coming and doing a lot of really manual labor and difficult labor that I didn't have the capacity to handle in my organization, and things that were fantastic. They did a great job. They worked really hard. And so just another opportunity to tell everybody what a great city we have and what great citizens you guys represent. So that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, Sandy Frogger Properties.
I'm not sure if this is going to be on the agenda to hit later.
There is a public hearing, so if you would...
We were sent a notice to be here for assessments.
Yes, so there's this opportunity and then also the hearing later on.
Okay. So my main problem is we have landlords and tenants in the town, and when the city is tagging for assessments or abatements or however they list it, they're giving 3-day notices on doors for mowing, and that doesn't tell the landlord anything. It's in all my leases that the tenants are responsible. They're single-family homes for them to be mowing. We have over 50 homes. As we drive through town, working and stuff, if we see one, we message them that they've got to get it done. But we've got houses spread all over the town, and we don't always get by them all. And we had one at 512 North 1st that was tagged, I guess. We didn't know anything about it. I didn't get a bill until a month later saying that they were mowed, and we didn't realize the prices had gone up. All of our leases quote $350 if you get mowed by the city, and I guess now it's $500, so it does not say that in my lease. And so we got on him to get it mowed and get somebody in there, and we left town and came back and found out he got mowed for a second time. And again, didn't get a bill, didn't get a notice until almost a month later. So we have the new rental program in town. Everybody knows who owns what houses. We get the bill, so they know we own the house. And my thing is, why can't we be notified before we are assessed a bill on this property that we could have taken care of it before you took care of it? So that's my question.
Okay. Would you like to respond, Chief?
So the way our code is set up, we drop the green tag. I can't run down every landlord that's in town. They do have to be responsible for their properties. I don't know how many you've got, but you've got to go around, you've got to be aware of what's going on with your properties. When we drop the green tag, it's already a problem. The grass is already in a point of non-compliance. So once again, it's not in the code for us to look up phone numbers, and I've called building development before trying to get landlords' phone numbers and stuff. Sometimes they're not there. So, you know.
Okay. But it sounds like you knock on the door or in some way or another. You don't just go up there and put a sticker on.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And there's a lot of times that we talk to the tenants, and I understand tenants can be tenants, but, you know, there just has to be that responsibility.
Okay.
So we have over 50 properties and there's 2 of us. And we do it all. And I have no problem giving you a list of our properties with a phone number on top. You tag one, you can call us. I have no, I just think there's some way we could all work together a little better than just a month later getting a bill.
That's totally fine. If that's the way the council wants to change things, then we will work that way. It will add, you know, to the load.
Understood.
Well,
So it sounds like this conversation could take place between the two of you
Well, we
without
tried.
involving the council.
I'm just saying, you know, rental inspections took a lot of our time, and we have cooperated with everything the city has wanted. We jumped through hoops for all these new rental inspections, cost us a lot of money for these rental inspections, and on the back end, we don't get anything. On the front end, we give and give and give, and when we ask for help from all of you guys to make it a little easier for the landlords, it's always for the tenants and it's never for us. But we're the ones giving on the front end and never getting anything back. So all I'm asking is that we can give and take a little bit more to help our loads also.
Okay,
So that's
I understand.
what I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Angie Foster.
Good evening, Angie Foster, 2288 Lynn Avenue. I'm here on behalf of Oskaloosa Main Street. We have a Main Street America accreditation visit coming up on Wednesday, September 24th. Just want to let you know that we're going to be out tomorrow afternoon and next Tuesday afternoon cleaning up some of the downtown area, pulling weeds, picking up trash, different things like that. So just to make you aware, if you see some people out doing some stuff, and just excited for the visit to be here. Thank you.
Okay. And that's a one-day
Yep.
thing? Okay. Okay, thank you. Moving on. Next item up is the consideration of the consent agenda. This is a number of items that are motioned and voted upon as a single item. I did want to draw attention to item I, which is a resolution scheduling a public hearing for October 20th. That's to consider levying a special assessment against private property for weed cutting. Do we have a motion of support for the consent agenda?
So move.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Holman,
Yes.
Calabari,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. First item up, item A, this is to consider a resolution levying special assessment against private property for cutting and removal of weeds by the city of Oskaloosa. This is under chapter 8.20 of the city code. There are 4 properties listed here. Frogger Properties was one of them. And so now is the time to, well, first off, that for the public hearing, certified notices were sent to each property owner. Notice was published in the Oskaloosa Herald, and if approved, the property owner has 30 days from the time of filing with the Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for weed cutting in the city clerk's office. Then after 30 days, it's assessed to property taxes with a payment schedule at 9% interest. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this? Yep.
If I can get up. I've only went over this about 14 times today. Walked in here and I can't remember what I was going to talk about. But 3 minutes is not long, so I'm going to be fast.
Well, now, this is a public hearing, and so you can take your time.
Okay. Well, I have a couple things. Number one, the problem of getting people to take care of their properties is one of my biggest gripes about this town. There's 2 towns in this state that I love. That's Grundy Center and Oskaloosa. And I live in Oskaloosa, so I'd like to see it look a little better. One, you can category across from my place. They haven't lived in it for over a year. It's run down. They've got a garage that the roof on the south side is caving in, and all we need is some small child to get over in there and that thing let go, and it's a goodbye child. Then what kind of excuse do we have? So I think it's time that either they tear it down. They had an opportunity to sell the house from a real estater who was going to tear it down and put a new property on it, and they decided, well, they'd like to keep it. And it's time that they either make a decision or not, and then take care of it. The weeds are terrible. They got piles of limbs around, and work my fanny off to take care of my yard, and then have to sit out front and look at that. And other places in town. We have other places in town. It's time to tell them to clean them up, period. And if we can't do it, if we don't have the personnel, call me. I'll get my pickup out and go get something. But we need to get it done, I think. That's personal.
Okay.
You do what you want to do, and all of it. But
So there is a mechanism in place to report an address, right, that has stuff that is a nuisance visually, but it has to fit within the ordinance as far as this is something that we have enforcement
I think that's probably
capability
been
on.
notified 1 or 2 times.
Chief Vaughn, do you know about the
Okay.
places?
I'm not sure.
And I feel sorry for them. They're a young couple, they've got a new baby and so forth, but there's got to be a time that either sell the house or get somebody in there to take care of it. It needs to be torn down, quite honestly.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
talk with you afterwards and get the?
Pardon?
Can I talk with you afterwards and get the address?
You certainly can, I think. Now, my next topic is, are you guys prepared? Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Are you prepared?
For.
And you want to know about what? I am not a representative of Musco, but they have put up a building that's second to none in our town, and it's beautiful, and it's done great things for our town, and there's more coming. But I found out a few things. One is I've got people that I know who I asked, did you get a house here in town, or did you come to? No, we went to Panama, because they had a lot more little things for us. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about Paul. But I'm not tired of hearing about Oskaloosa. We have an opportunity coming up with this new building to cut a fat hog and you know what. But are we going to be prepared for it? Are we going to be ready for it? Have we talked to I can recall one time we was having something going on, and and I have nothing against our people who sell property, because I used to do that in Grundy Center at the bank I worked at. And they gave them, well, you're moving to town. Well, here's a list of homes that I have for sale. Give me a call after you drive around if you like any of them. That is horse. My dad told me you can't do business sitting on your you know what. Are we finding out if our people who sell the houses, are they ready? Are they prepared? Have they got a program? Are they going to be taking the people What have we got to offer them to help get them to stay in Oskaloosa? Because we have great opportunities. And of course, one of them is the football field. If I had my young kid here at that time, there would be no doubt I would come to Oskaloosa. We have a lot to offer, but are we prepared to do it? Are we ready to get with the people? They had, over at Pella, they had rooms all ready for the people to stay in the motels, all arranged with the motels. And they got a discount on it when they got, if they used it.
Yeah.
What did we do? Yes.
Well, I'm going to mention that we're here to talk about weed cutting, and and so Larry, I want to try to route you back.
I'm not an expert.
Yep.
I'm telling you what I see from the outside, and we have so much to gain from what's coming here that we can't, in my opinion, we can't afford to lose that. And so I think we need to work together on it. I think we need to decide things we can do to encourage people to come here if they get the job. And like I said, I'm not representing Musco, don't get me wrong. But that's some of the things that I see and other people see as we talk about it around town. We need from the top, which are you people, to say, okay, can you do this? Yes, we can. Let's do it. But we can't be sitting on our thumbs when this opportunity comes up. I have no idea what they're going to do. I'm speaking just from what I've heard from what they tell at meetings and so forth. But that's why I said, are we prepared? Are we prepared on every angle that when people come to town, this is where they want to live? I've spoke my piece.
Okay. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Anyone else?
Get out of your hair and go watch TV.
Okay. Anyone else who would like to speak tonight?
On weed cutting.
On weed cutting, yeah.
Can we go back to that page that showed the amounts?
Sure.
Because we don't get detailed, we didn't get anything. We literally just got a bill with a total.
Okay. In the agenda, there's that was in there. That's
Yeah, that's the main one that just gives a total. There was one before that showed, like it showed at the bottom, first offense, there you go. And it's like, first cleanup, 250 plus actual
Ma'am?
cost, yet.
Ma'am, this is on TV, so if you could come to the microphone while you're speaking to us.
When we got the bill, all it said was, first cleanup, $500. So that's where I'm looking at this.
Oh, so the breakdown is what you're curious about?
Yeah, we got, our first bill was $500. The second bill was $550. I'm not sure where any of that's coming from, and we didn't get any pictures showing that it actually needed to be done. We have
Okay.
evicted the tenant, finally.
Yeah.
We were trying, but I'm not sure where these amounts are coming from.
So the bill didn't show the address?
It just said 512, $500.
Oh,
Okay.
Second one said 512, second offense, $550. That's all it said,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah. And so I believe Chief Vaughn, of course,
Oh, there he is.
he's the man of the hour today.
Yeah.
Chief, I think it's still our policy to shoot pictures before and after, right?
Yeah, I didn't get any. This
And
is what
so-
I got. It literally says 512, load date 6/6, sent the bill on 7/2, $500. And I'm looking at first cleanup, 250 plus actual cost.
Well, they switched that when we went with LA Lawn Care, so we used to do it as a city, we contracted out.
And they charge $250 to mow a yard.
And we get $250 to get to that point, that's what we charge if we get to that point. 250 is their minimum, and then anything over 10,000 is more per thousand.
$500 to mow a yard.
We don't mow yards. That's
And,
not-
then we're back to, I will give you my list, cause I don't want my yard mowed. And if you guys really don't wanna mow yards, shoot me a notice, shoot me a call, and you don't have to mow my yard.
Okay, understood. Anyone else? Okay. This has been one of the most interesting public hearings we've done in a while. So I'll go ahead and close it. Do we have a motion regarding the property list that we have before us?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Just out of curiosity, how tall does your grass have to be before you're
8 inches.
assessed? How?
8 inches.
Okay. Okay.
And I can get pictures for any one of these we've got 'em on file. We take them when we get to the point of dropping the green tag, and when the company that we contract with, as soon as they get there, once we told them to go ahead and mow, when we get to that point, they take pictures before they mow, they take pictures
Yeah.
after they mow, and we've
Yeah.
got those also.
Yeah. No,
Those are
I'm-
available.
no, I appreciate that. In Fremont, the city council has to do that work, so, yeah.
Okay. Any further comments?
Chief Vaughn and I can spend a little time kind of discussing this topic and see if we need to make any updates or if we can come back with a recommendation if we feel like there's a need to change.
Maybe
Okay.
we'll find a
We'll do
better way to communicate.
And I actually
Other-
asked Chief on this a couple months ago. I think I called you about a place that is over in my neck of the woods, and I asked him, and because I think the landlord is not from Iowa, and he said, I asked that same question, you know, he said, Rhonda, we put a tag on the door 3 days later, and I understand. I was curious about the contact too on some of those too.
I'm not necessarily sure that there is a perfect
Right.
solution or way forward,
Right.
but we'll take a look at it.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Calendari,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holmberg,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item B. This is a consider resolution authorizing advancement of costs for urban renewal project, certification of expenses for the core downtown improvement program. The funds are included in the capital improvement plan for the fiscal year 26 through 28. The costs for the grant program are eligible for tax increment financing reimbursement due to inclusion in the city's urban renewal plan. Advancing funds from the general fund, the utility franchise fees is commonly used because the debt associated with the project was not included in the current or previous year's TIF asking for the city, and therefore it has to be drawn from a fund that has a readily available balance. Agenda item formally authorizes an internal loan that allows the program to move forward using fund balance in the general fund out of the utility franchise fee subfund. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holmberg,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calendari,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C. This is to consider a resolution amending the Complete Streets policy. Staff has proposed a Complete Streets policy revision based on changes requested by the City Council on the September 2nd study session. The revised policy integrates some items in the sidewalk improvement policy into a single merged policy that would make some revisions for clarity and add additional exceptions to the circumstances where policy would be implemented. Primary changes to the policy name, it's updated to Complete Streets and Sidewalk Policy. The department managing the policy has changed from Development Services to Public Works. The projects included in the policy had additional language to clarify that it applies to projects that are at least one standard city block in length. Exceptions to the policy are updated to include the following, there's 4 of them here. First, projects that cannot be shown to have a connection or future connection to an existing sidewalk, trail, or other pedestrian feature within 1 mile. Another exception is reduction of design consideration to only a single side of the street for a sidewalk that has a dead end. The third one is a revision to the language on legal and/or regulatory impediments or constraints. And then finally, it added a process for residential streets to appeal a design concept which adds sidewalk to a street which does not already have them. The existing sidewalk improvement policy will be removed as it's now integrated into the Complete Streets. Now, staff is making a recommendation in here. They've recommended that the council, looking at the policy, and we don't have the red line version up there, but items K and H, They were added to the list of exceptions before passing the revised policy. Those two items create a significant barrier to the city's long-term connectivity goals. Item K, which adds an appeal process, will likely be invoked on most projects, as residents are typically opposed to sidewalks adjacent to their properties, regardless of the amount of public benefit. Item H reduces the design to a single side of the road consideration for a dead-end road, regardless of other design characteristics, which reduces the city's long-term preparedness for connections. So there's no direct cost under the budget for this. Do we have a motion of support for this resolution?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Okay. Nudging it right along. Okay. Discussion.
So is your motion to remove K and H?
No, I just wanted to be able to open up discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering on that too.
Yeah.
This project has just mushroomed into strange things. Three of us received emails that if I vote for this, I'm equivalent to Alec Jones. And I have no idea what ADA is. And it was just very, very strange. This is a streets policy. And I've been called a lot of things, and I am a lot of things, but I'm not really Alec Jones. And I have a 30-year-old disabled daughter, so I'm quite well versed in ADA policies. So it just makes, me question, like, what else is going on when there's just something behind the scenes. It's just making me,
I just have a question about, like, I remember Kay specifically, as we talked, seemed to be kind of our happy medium, if you will. Why would we want to strike that now, considering really what the basis of that might be?
So the reason I made that recommendation is, as I said, I think that creates a significant barrier to the city's long-term goal of having connectivity. We have the active transportation plan that includes adding sidewalk throughout the city, and what we've observed is that the public benefit to a sidewalk and the situation doesn't really determine whether or not property owners are in favor of sidewalk. In general, what we've observed is property owners do not want sidewalk in front of their own property if it doesn't have it already. We saw that on 8th Avenue. We also saw it on Sheriff Avenue, which is a route that goes directly from the schools. And in that case, the city did not end up putting in sidewalk because of feedback from the property owners. So my concern is that if we put this policy in, as this is written, that will be invoked on essentially every project, and council will have to make that decision to the property owners on every project. So that's the reason that I recommended against this verbiage that the council requested. This not directly related to that question, but I did have a question for the council kind of related to that, which is if this policy is approved, the active transportation plan, we have about $35,000 allocated to putting in new sidewalks to improve our connectivity. Would I be intended to do this kind of polling before putting in that sidewalk as well, even if it's shown to provide a connection? Because that, to me, this is a similar situation as to what that is, and we would run into the same difficulties. Even if we're making a good connection, we're going to have to justify it to property owners.
And I think you will.
Yeah. Sorry. I guess for me, I think this snowballed. This started out as not wanting a street narrowed, and it rolled into sidewalks. And I think for me, when we had the study session, and Janet, I don't believe you were here, you were gone, but I said one shoe doesn't fit everybody. And so I took the 8th Avenue West just as an example. There's 9 homes, one was vacant. So 6 out of the 8 homeowners, some ranging from 31 years to 22 years to a couple years, showed up, and one, they didn't want the road narrowed, and 2, they were against sidewalks. And I said, I think there was a way we could make everyone happy. And I think, Joe, you agreed with it, narrowing. I think we all drove down that road, and narrowing the road. I kind of feel like we're getting blackballed about this. I have never said I don't want a sidewalk. Do you need a sidewalk on both sides? Sean, I disagree. I don't think you do. I'll take my road, for example. My road that I lived on, and my neighbor's been there since 1976, would not be great to have a sidewalk on both sides. It's going to take out trees. My road's not wide enough. I think I'm in the CIP. I'll be one that'll vote against it. living there. I think that everybody's taking personal things about this, but I think we had all the people on that project showed up and was representative. And it's not to say, my eldest sister's handicapped, by the way, and in a wheelchair, so I'm definitely not, again, I was very opposed by the email that we got. I think just we really need to really represent what people want, and I understand connectivity, and I think that's great, but a dead-end road with 8 houses, narrowing it and putting sidewalks didn't make sense. And I think we proved that, they proved that, I think we had, so it's a little frustrating.
Yeah. And I can understand you wanting sort of an ease in things, but I really like what Janet said. We've got 3 distinct kinds of parts of town. We've got the grid area, the older part. We've got the little adjunct kind of countryside, you know, built in the 60s to the 90s, and then we have the new subdivisions. And that's what's unique about Oskaloosa. The man who was here before, Grundy Center, my husband loves. He's got some, but that's what makes us unique, is that we don't have covenants. We're not Ankeny, where my brother lives, and it's all exactly the same way, and there's an ease of construction. But to me, I find it extraordinarily boring. And there's just, you know, there's at least three different parts of town. And I think we do need to review the projects, and it may slow it down a little bit. But maybe we could save some money and make it more appealing in the long run as well, you know.
And I'd like to be clear, if that's what council's goal is, then that's fine. My position, my job is to complete the will of the council and implement these things. The reason, if council decides today that we don't want sidewalks anywhere, that's your prerogative, but I'm recommending against this because the active transportation plan, the stated goals of the city are opposed to what's being proposed today. That's the reason that I'm recommending against those.
I don't love the verbiage for K. I'm not necessarily for having everybody provide a comment, because I think that we need to have the city be able to, you know, function, and that's part of your job, is to be able to enforce the codes that we have implemented. So personally, I'd be in favor of striking K, but just making sure that we have, you know, the exceptions in the code that are needed for some of the things that we might come up against.
And to be a little bit clear, the item K, if this was invoked, if property owners did invoke this, it does not automatically change the design of the project the way it's worded. It would bring that decision to the council to make a decision. So even if we had 100% of property owners in favor of something, the council could say, no, this is too good of a public opportunity for improvement, we're going to do it. It just will add that time and that need to have a public statement about it rather than going forward with the project.
Other comments from council?
Your motion.
What? What'd you say, Joe?
What's that?
You made the motion, right?
Yeah.
And what is
The motion was as is, but
I'm sorry?
the motion was as is.
To not strike K.
To not strike.
To not strike?
Okay. Was that your understanding with the second?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any further comments from council?
So if it, per se, it gets voted down, then what would it have to come back with? Because I would like to strike K at least.
Okay.
If that's struck down, then you bring the project back the same way that you did before, correct? Essentially,
I think Janet's asking
The policy.
procedurally
Yes.
what's happening today
Yes.
if this policy doesn't pass, and then
okay.
Yeah,
I wanna-
I want
Okay,
to figure out where we're at with policy.
So if you feel strongly
Right.
that as written isn't the right way to go,
Okay.
you vote no on it.
Yeah.
If it fails, then what we could do is do an option, you know, since it's only a resolution, I guess. What we could do is say, okay, motion second that says, okay, we're going to do just the striking of K, and bring that back. It's even cleaner, however, if there's a belief from the person making the motion who agrees to amend.
Yeah.
But Joe, didn't we, when we had our,
Right.
correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this what we came up with?
This is what we came up with. but
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
what
some
I
of
was-
us
that's
still
what I
ain't
was-
comfortable with it.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
and that's what I'm thinking too.
So your motion, it was to
accept K.
Accept it.
accept K?
Because our original study session, we had an A, B, and C, and all of us liked that B, where we made a certain exceptions for that.
Because I'd rather pull my motion, my second.
Pull the
'cause-
second back.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I would revoke K.
Okay.
And
Okay,
just-
so
Just to add some clarity to what Sean Metcalf said, if K was struck but not the other, the H, that would certainly be something that would merit a design change. But ultimately with this project, just, again, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the motion you're making right now, but once, whatever policy changes are made, I'm gonna bring a specific action to council at the next meeting to state what council's design that they want for 8th Avenue is. I will change what we're proposing it is based on what decision is made, because I'm gonna recommend by whatever policy is approved after this. But ultimately, I'm going to just present it to council to make a decision on the topic.
And my thinking isn't just because of 8th, it's what do we need for the future of the community, so we don't run into any problems like we've had with that, and we can make it a smooth process.
So, and I guess for me, Jen, you weren't here for that study session, that's where I felt like that's why we got to this, Joe, because we had a one-size-fits-all, and that's how everything was getting designed, and we
Right.
realized it
And
didn't
my
work.
thinking was, whatever, let's say K is not there, and let's say H is not there, and he's got a project. Within this town, there's a lot of different areas, like you mentioned. Sometimes, we gotta make a decision on this, on the situation, you know? It may not apply, you know? So like, we want sidewalks on both sides. Well, you get to this old section of town, hey, we can't put sidewalks on this side because of the terrain or something. I think that kind of mentions that in there also.
it's one of the
So
exceptions.
sometimes you're gonna have situations. Years ago, we tried to set a standard here to make his process much smoother, in roads and all that. And now we put this all in, and I kinda like we're going back to what we was, and it hends them up, that slows them down.
Yeah, I mean, the big goal in 2015 had to do with connectivity and ADA.
Right.
And so at that time, the council recognized, at least made it a priority to have as much connectivity as we could so people on foot, on bike,
Bikes,
could get around.
wheelchairs.
You didn't have to fire up a car to go somewhere.
And there was a big list made throughout the whole city, where sidewalks, you go down one street, and about 2 blocks is a sidewalk, then nothing, another
Sidewalks to
sidewalk.
nowhere,
You know,
like Andy
it's
said.
trying to clean up things.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did back then. But now, you know, yeah, I know some people don't want to have a sidewalk because they don't want to shovel snow or whatever, you know, but we're trying to make the town, and plus, for that street over there, you have all that in, it's gonna make the curb appeal look much better, you know? They gotta think of that.
I don't think they were against this, I think they were against the more,
Well,
this
more
started out
so
as the
the-
narrative.
Right, and I kinda agree with that too, but, so, yeah, I know we talked this at the study session, and I'm still kinda go back the other way, sorry, but.
Yeah, I'd like to leave it,
So at this point, we've got a motion, so we don't have a second.
and your motion was to leave K.
Yeah, I'm debating H now. I will amend K, I'm thinking about H.
Okay.
Sorry.
All I was gonna say is I'll second your motion.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna amend it to remove K, sorry.
Okay, that wasn't clear, so I just
Yeah.
wanted
Sorry.
to break a log jam.
Yeah.
So you're leaving A, your motion.
I would leave H, I would strike
The
K.
new sidewalk will lead to dead end.
Okay.
If I could make one more comment before we vote, one thing that I am doing in the CIP this year is I'm spelling out specifically if we're working on a roadway, if there's a plan for a design change, I'm gonna make sure that's listed in the CIP on those sheets. So it'll be, I mean, realistically speaking, we plan our projects 5 years out. A lot of times we don't think about those things until we get closer, but I'm just gonna make it a point that if there's a change to a roadway width or a change to install additional sidewalk or any of that, that'll be written in the CIP as well. So that will be known in theory 5 years ahead of time unless,
And
you know,
the
sometimes projects.
And the CIP, just for Capital approval for project.
So,
Okay, just wanted to
and so
check.
Sean,
Lot of
and
acronyms.
I appreciate that being in there, so, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, so if we left K in there, that doesn't allow you to do that? Is that what you're?
No, I'm putting that language in the CIP regardless of what decision is made here today.
Okay. So that we're anticipating variations.
Yes.
Okay.
Because things can change in 5 years also.
Okay. So what we have before us is a motion and a second that would strike out K, but it would leave in H.
Yes, though, Sean, I'm looking at you specifically. Sorry, Sean Murphy. Will you sleep at night with that?
Whatever decision that the
I
council
know.
I don't have a personal investment in
Yes,
this.
I-
My advice is only based on trying to do what I feel gives the city the most power to enact the active transportation plan that we've accepted.
Right.
If that's not the direction council wants to go, then we probably need to look at that plan as well, and that would be fine
Yeah,
as well.
sure.
So,
Yep. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Also, again, is you have to design these things, and obviously we're dealing with a handful of variables,
Yes.
some more than others. Just want to make sure that you have enough direction to be able to move forward and do what we've asked you to do.
Yes.
All right.
Sean, do we ever put sidewalks in that don't involve a street?
I would say the city hasn't been terribly involved. Obviously, we have the recreation trail that goes around the city, but that's only small portions that are actually owned by the city.
Or
We
if
did-
it's new development?
We did by the park.
Yes, there
They did on
Right.
15th.
And,
Did we
and
do
that
the
would be
daycare?
the $35,000 that we have in the CIP for sidewalk improvements that are, again, intended for the active transportation plan. That was the question I had earlier about applying this kind of surveying when we're just doing those connections. Because, yes, we've done sidewalks where there was no road project. We had other sidewalks we wanted to connect, so we just did a project that was just putting in sidewalk to connect those two sidewalks.
So when you talk about that 35,000, that's what funds that kind of activity?
Yes.
This year it was 35.
That's what is in the CIP. I don't believe we quite spent that much. I think it was on 28 this year, but.
Okay.
You know,
That's an annual amount, usually, right?
yes.
Okay, and I want to make one more thing clear, because striking K takes out which is being proposed by the property owners must include the names and the addresses affected of the appeal, so they're not going to be notified then. We're not going to go with the 75% of the,
Right.
I think for me, the thing that makes me sleep at night with that is knowing that in the CIP moving forward, we have the option for changes.
Yep. Okay.
Is that right?
Or you kind of ask some questions about that project during the capital improvement.
and they'll still be,
Discussion, right?
Yeah.
That's.
Right. Yeah.
Sean, and they'll still be notified of their street, so if it's his street, they'll still be notified as residents, correct, or no?
We'll probably take a look at the timing of when we're notifying residents about projects in general. One thing, it's difficult to know when the right time is to inform people about projects because if you inform people too far ahead of time, then sometimes they'll get that notice and then they'll kind of think nothing's happening. And we can project out a time. We can say, you know, we're doing this project, we're doing plans, we're going to build it in the spring, but things change pretty frequently. So it's a matter of how far out we want to make those notifications, how certain are we that certain things are going to happen, because sometimes projected dates change for reasons that aren't, and do we want to notify them every time? Or do we just want to notify them closer to the project when it's, you know, we're getting a contractor, they're going to be here in a couple months. A lot of times, in my experience personally, a lot of my projects have been sanitary sewer, we're seeking out easements with people like a year before the project. And then I get a lot of questions that are, well, why isn't this project happening yet? So there's certainly a lot of discussion that could happen on when the right time to inform is, especially with a project that there's more design changes as opposed to, you know, a lot of our projects don't have these kinds of design changes. We have an existing roadway that's a width that we're going to go back in with the same roadway width, and we're not doing anything with the sidewalk. Do we need to inform them that far ahead of time when we're not doing any of those kinds of changes, or do we just tell them, hey, we're going to start construction next week and be aware of it?
No.
That's certainly a broader discussion.
Yep.
But hopefully the CIP being clear would help people. In theory, people can look at the CIP and be aware of what's going on in town.
We can point them in that direction.
So just
Okay.
for further clarification, if we remove K, we still have an appeal process, just not as detailed as K.
Yeah, that there would be,
It would probably be up to council at that point to use their discretion at the time we're approving the CIP.
Okay.
We would not
Okay.
necessarily be conveying to property owners an appeals process. It would be up to the council to look at the CIP, to see that there's sidewalk and maybe look at if they thought it was appropriate and discuss that with property owners. Or if council had a question like that on a specific CIP item, they could direct staff to say, to go out ahead of a project and determine what people wanted. But we would not have this type of formal appeal process in our policy if it's struck out.
I guess I don't know if I agree. I think people that live on the road know the road best, so I
do think the other part of that is they would still have an opportunity to come and make comments in the public portion of the.
But Andy, if you leave this in stone, just like we had it before, and then was that blanketed, this is how we do it, and that. Okay.
I know.
I support okay, so I'm gonna be a no, so.
roll call.
I have a clarification
Okay.
On the motion.
Motion is a second.
Please.
Okay, so as I understand it, the motion is what's proposed, but striking out K per the recommendation from staff.
Okay. And Ibrahim, you made the motion, and who was my second?
Me?
Okay.
And then you withdrew it. And then
I withdrew what he'd started
Right.
first.
The first one.
Okay,
So to accept the policy, striking K.
correct.
Yep.
Okay, ready for roll call?
Sure. All right, Holberg,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
I'm going to say no.
Almond,
No.
Calajuri,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Okay, it passes. Okay, moving on. Item D. A little organized here. Yeah, it's an update from Stuart Tim, so.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. This will be our third progress report for the completion of the Haskell County YMCA natatorium. When we met last time, we talked about next steps. So now I'm going to kind of go through to show that those next steps did indeed happen, and just highlight a few of those big ones, and then a few big ones at the end. So contractors did indeed erect the scaffolding, which you can see on your right there, in the area that you can see on your left, and that has the work they used for the scaffolding has been completed, and the scaffolding is starting to come down. It will be completely removed from the building by tomorrow. So, and then if you want to go to the next slide, this is the work that they completed off the scaffolding. I apologize because the lighting is not great in there, and I'm limited on being able to go up the scaffolding without having to take a scaffolding class and tie off and all that. So I have to use pictures that were made available to me. But as you can see on my left there, it's kind of the before pictures of the dirt and the ground and the dirt dust that was left from that area being vacant. And then on the right, tried to find pictures that captured just the fact that those were cleaned and coated and now meet the specs, and they are working from the top down as discussed at the last meeting. So that part is done, so therefore the scaffolding has been removed. This just captures the, so we had our comp pool, our recreation pool passed the leak test, so then the next steps were final steps on the coating of the pool walls. So again, on the right hand side, you can kind of see what the concrete looks like, and then what it looks like after the coating on that, and then that will have additional painting as the project goes. This is the helical piers. Top pictures are just to show that the materials were on site. Far left one is to show how those go in with essentially a mini excavator with a drill on it to put those into the ground. Next one is how they bolt to the foundation, and then the last one is just the what they call grout, kind of a form of concrete, just to cover those, to protect those, and then that will be built back up. Those, just so it's noted, those, Terracon, who has been our consultant this whole time on soil sampling, concrete testing, various other rebar placements, various other things, they had a person on site to inspect that every single one of those met the torque, and they had a person on site to make sure every single one of those met the torque going into the footings, and so they were on site to work next to PCI on that to make sure there was documentation and that was a sound plan, and then that'll go back to our structural engineers. And then I'll note before next steps, there's been a lot of other small work. We've had electricians in getting some work done. We've had some other, we've had some rooms cleaned. We've had some small paintings done in there. We've had some caulking of areas that weren't completed, but those are hard to capture pictures and kind of more of a in there one day and out. So there's been other work done, but those highlight. The next steps I think that we'll find interesting is the coating of the precast panels in the rec pool. So they've removed the scaffolding, and now they'll start from the top on lifts and work their way down, and all those will be pre-coated, similar to the coating that you saw on the rec pool. It won't be quite as visible, but they will be coated. And then competition pool, piping installation, and then we are starting to build back up to that competition-based pool. So after that was removed, we had that gravel base. They've torn it down. It's going to start coming back up before the next before the next meeting. Hopefully, we have some pictures of that along with other progress. So also note, just since Barry's here, we sit in a weekly construction meeting that they have a 5-week look-ahead schedule. So this is kind of what we go off to, and so I'm trying to bring items that are on that 5-week look-ahead, and that they are hitting at a monthly and weekly basis.
Questions from council?
Appreciate the progress.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So, question from me, I guess, is everything still on the track that we expect it to be for
Yes.
August of 26?
Substantial completion. August,
Okay.
August 28th, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, is there a peeking window in the cardboard?
Currently, there is not, and
Okay.
that's due to the process that
Okay.
they had to do the sponge blasting that we talked about the last time, and then the coating and yeah. So
Because Barry and I talked about that just for the
there's been many conversations about it.
curious people want to look.
Right. Yeah. When the time is right, I think that's something that we've discussed with construction manager.
Okay.
But right now, to protect our equipment and the glass and the
Okay.
trim and that things, those are all covered.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Reports from city staff. City manager, anything?
2 quick items. Just a reminder, I'll be gone this week at the League of Cities conference. I'll be available though by text or phone if you need anything. I'll be there. And then the other item, which is a little different, is my 6-month evaluation is in open session. So I think the council hasn't done that before. I haven't done this before.
I think we have to.
But I thought I'd mention that because it's different. But I think it's as simple as just you'll have the results and can provide the feedback that you have for me. I believe it's that simple.
And I think that's right. Sean and I visited about that, and Rhonda's right in her comments that we do have to do it. It's not been done that way in the past. But looking at that case, I'd sent you all copies of before that that's what we need to do. I know when Sean was hired, the headhunter voiced his dislike for me. He did not much care for what I was saying, but that's sadly the way we need to do it in this day and age.
It was in the front page of the Register, what they're doing in Polk County. They have to do that.
Oh.
So that case was mentioned on the front page of the Register today.
Oh.
And boy, are they going to have a contentious review of John Norris. So anyway, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's public knowledge.
Yes.
I look forward to your feedback. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else? Okay. City clerk, anything?
Just a reminder, if anybody's interested in running for council, your papers are due Thursday before 5 o'clock at the Manhasset County Auditor. If you have any questions, you can call.
Okay. City Attorney, anything?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Council members, Abu.
Just some thoughts for the William Penn community. Had a loss over the weekend, so just think about us, what's going on down there.
Rhonda.
I have a couple things. Chief Mana was at a funeral on Thursday, and I got there a little early because I was expecting a big crowd, and there was. And I think I had 31 people come up and thank me for the flags and the flags on A Avenue and your patriotism. And they said, who does it? And so if you're getting phone calls, it was me that turned you in. They just really think that it really was a great thing to do. They even question, they love that you do it every chance we get. I did throw it out that you could use volunteers always, correct? So, but that was very nice, and there were several people. I work the United Way. This is our 8th or 9th or 10th or 11th or 12th year United Way. My work, we had a rough, our community's had a rough, and our country's had a rough, and so we did 2 houses in my ward. I didn't plan it that way, but we did 7 trips with 2 dump trailers to the snow dump. And I do have before and after pictures, but these were residents that have lived a long time in the community, 60-some years and 70-some years, 77 and 61, I believe. And their houses looked amazing. You can't believe the tree, it was just amazing. The one lady, I went back the next day to take a picture, and she tapped me on the shoulder and she goes, was that you over here yesterday? And I said, yeah. They brought us cookies, they brought us water. They were just not capable of doing this. And so I questioned Marcella. She's a personal friend of mine I see her at the Y. And I wish we would do this more than once a year, but I don't know how you can get on that list as a community. And Sean, you and I have talked about beautifying things, and maybe we can work, but it made those 2 houses look, 9 of us, there was 9 of us, and it was hard. We got lifts, and so they always give us the hard ones, but it just, in a matter of 5.5 hours for 2 houses, it made those houses look completely different. So I wish that we could do that more often. It would maybe take Chief Vaughn's nuisances down some if we had that. And then my third thing is, and this is a little tough on me because I do like to think that I'm right a lot, but I'd like to apologize to Chief Ben. And so I questioned whether we needed another SRO officer. I did a lot of study on, actually I called the Des Moines school systems and per capita, whatever. We didn't really qualify number-wise, kids-wise. And I thought, we're short on the street, first responders, car accidents, fire, whatever. Emergencies. And so after our recent, I apologize to you, I'm very glad that we have 2, and it could have been much worse than that. So now I actually apologize to Logan in person at the Y Saturday morning. It's a good thing for this community. So you don't want to have that, but I'm very glad. So I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Just want to say my thoughts and prayers are with the William Penn community and also New Sharon with what had happened, and then also thank you to Chief Vaughn and the group that put out the flags. So really appreciate the effort, and then always for first responders keeping us safe in the community and being there for us.
Andy.
I do want to echo the thoughts and prayers and sympathies for the William Penn community and the North Mahaska community, and share that. I also want to express again my sincere appreciation to our first responders and the things that they're doing and things that we know about and the things that we don't know about that do an awful lot of good for our community. And then I would add to the city staff, generally, I appreciate all that you guys are doing, and I personally don't take enough time to tell you folks that, and also the folks that are working for you and that aren't able to be here, so I share those appreciations as well.
Joe?
I don't have anything, sorry.
Lisa?
Business as usual.
I got asked a year ago to participate in the Iowa History Symposium that's going to be next Friday and Saturday. About 14 years ago, I published a book on the depression dilemmas of rural Iowa. One of my chapters was on coal mining. And so I'm kind of revising the coal mining, and our library is fantastic. And there's no better way to appreciate your present than to go in and start looking at the old maps and the different communities and what went on. And I didn't know Mahaska County was the coal mining county in the state, and they said it would have riches forever. Well, where you don't mine coal anymore. But the dynamics of communities like Muchikinak, it took me a week to learn how to say that. But there was a coal mining village just now where the dump is that had 3,500 black coal miners and Swedes, and this place had just all the drama. And anyway, so it's I'll if you're interested in coal mining, you can come ask me about it. But it really is a fascinating topic, and I did not know Mahaska County led the state.
And I guess I only had a couple of things, thoughts and prayers go to the William Penn community as well. The loss of, there's just no way you can quantify it. And so it's a process to go through, and I'm sure that William Penn, sorry to say, is probably has people that are ready to do the sort of things that need to be done.
Oskaloosa helped out today too, so
Yeah.
thanks to them.
This Wednesday is a kind of a big day as far as Oskaloosa is concerned. We have the National Assembly of State Arts Agencies coming to town, to the William Penn, or to the Daily Auditorium. Representatives from all 50 states will be here and talking about the importance of the arts and how that contributes to leadership, especially in the way that our young folks are able to express themselves and then gain confidence, and the kind of community that embraces the arts like ours is being held up as an example. And then also the Des Moines Partnership is having their regional summit in Des Moines on Wednesday. We will have one of our businesses, Musco, will be receiving Economic Impact Award over the noon hour there. So some pretty proud stuff for the city of Oskaloosa to be involved in. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.